to The Fitterist Show with your host, Christopher Allen, where we explore the art of mind and body conditioning. Presumably, you go to the gym to work out and get more healthy. However, with people forgetting to wipe down machines and equipment and people going to the gym when they have a cold, less than stellar sanitary locker rooms, towels, and pools, the gym can be a breeding ground for germs that can cause colds, athlete's foot, flu, skin infections, etc. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at what you can do to best protect yourself and stay germ-free. A few simple guidelines can help you avoid germs and the subsequent infections and viruses that they may cause while still being able to work out. So let's dive in. Before we get into the core of the episode this week, let's take a quick look back at my Arnold prediction results and see how I did predicting the winners of the Arnold bodybuilding, physique, and fitness results. Overall, I was 4 for 8 of the major competitive categories. So let's look at each one quickly. The Arnold Classic, the winner was William Bonac. I thought either Big Ramy would win and I was rooting for Dexter Jackson, who came in second. Big Ramy was third, so not too bad. Man, I really wish Dexter would have won that. He's 50 years old, came in incredible shape, and pushed Bonac to the limit, I thought. It's really close. The Arnold Classic physique results, Alex Cambronero won. I thought Steve Laureus would win. He came in third. In the Arnold Classic men's physique, I thought Andre Ferguson would win, and he did indeed win. Brandon Hendrickson placing second in the men's physique. The pro wheelchair results, this is what I called the biggest slam dunk going in. Harold Kelly thought would win, did indeed win, really wasn't close. The dude is a monster. He looks amazing. Amazing. The Fitness International results, I thought Missy Truscott would win, and she did win, followed by Ariel Kadar and Tiffany Chandler. Missy Truscott looked amazing, both in the posing round and her fitness routine. Again, I think these people are some of the best athletes on stage with what they can do from a fitness, tumbling, jumping, leaping perspective. It's pretty impressive. The women's physique results, I thought Natalia Coelho would win. She did win, came in first. The figure international results, I thought Latoya Watts would win, but she didn't compete. I'm not really sure what happened, if she had travel challenges or wasn't feeling well, but the winner was Natalia Soltero for the figure international. And the bikini results, and this one was a little bit of maybe an upset, I don't know. I thought Angela Teixeira would win. I was rooting for Janet Leag, but Elisa Piccini was the winner for the Arnold Classic 2020 bikini results. So there you have it. 4 out of 8, not too bad for what is inherently a crazily subjective sport. So as you're trying to be healthy and keep up with going to the gym and your workout routine, the last thing you want to worry about is being in contact with germs while you're exercising, or at least contracting something from the germs that you will almost inevitably come in contact with in a gym environment. According to a survey of over 1,000 gym goers, sanitary practices were the respondents' biggest pet peeves. And here's just a sampling of some of the things at the top of the list. Number 1, more than half, I'll say that again, over 50% of gym goers witness bathroom users not washing their hands and continuing to use the gym equipment. And from my observations, just from the male perspective, I think that's pretty accurate. With the advent of COVID-19 coronavirus, I'd say the percentage of the people who do wash their hands has gone up, but I bet it's in the single digits. So I think we're in the 50 to 60% of the people wash their hands, leaving an inordinately high number of people that don't wash their hands. To add to that, I believe that most people don't know how to wash their hands, which is pretty amazing. Even if you just watch some hospital-related TV show in your life, like ER, Grey's Anatomy, I think one might get a few tips on proper hand washing just from literally watching doctors wash their hands before a surgery on TV. Now, you don't need to go crazy like that. Well, now you might, but clearly, people don't pick up on this. So even though you have people that are trying to be good and go through the motions in an attempt to do better, I'd say probably another half of those people fail to properly wash their hands in public restrooms. Well, at least they're trying, and maybe they feel better for doing so. But it's just crazy. Another top list pet peeve is that about 35% of men admitted to never wiping down weight machines after using them, while over 25% of women admitted to never wiping down cardio equipment. This one, look, I tend to stay pretty covered up in the gym. I'm not an excessive sweater, so I will raise my hand and say that I have been guilty of this one in the past, although I am pretty consistent about wiping down cardio equipment or gym mats that I stretch out on. But with the cardio equipment, I put my towel down, I rest my hands on that. It's not like I'm dripping sweat all over the machines. I have seen people that do that are excessive sweaters, and I don't even go on those machines, man. They need to be like hosed down. Anyway, the next highest ranking offending gym experience of gym goers is people with out of control body odor. This is personally my number one pet peeve. I cannot quite fathom that somebody, friend, family, stranger, person in the gym might not say, hey, man, you might want to kick up the deodorant a bit. I don't know. I can't stand this one. I will leave an area of the gym without hesitation if there's bad BO. I just cannot. Not dealing with that shit. Anyway, I will post the full list of offending gym experiences in the show notes at www.fitterist.com/052 for episode 52. And I bring those up because the hygiene components of those directly relate to the germs that may or may not be present in a gym environment where you're working out. So some germs to at least be aware of when you're in the gym. So the names that you may hear from doctors: staph bacteria. This is staphylococcus infections that live on gym equipment, machines, free weights, mats. It can live on towels, benches, locker rooms. It stands out as the bacteria with the most potent prevalence to danger combination. So ideally, you want to wipe down the equipment using antibacterial wipes or sprays that gyms provide, or use your own towel as a barrier between yourself and the equipment. I see a lot of people doing this where they'll take like a full beach towel and just cover the entire bench just to make sure there's a layer between themselves, regardless of what they're wearing, whether they're wearing a tank top or sweatshirt, but a layer of protection between themselves and the equipment. Obviously, do your best not to touch your face after you've touched a surface in the gym. This can be really challenging just because of habit, but it can definitely reduce the chances for introduction of a potential pathogen. A second, what I'd call germ category, it's not the probably official term, but it's fungal infections. These are things like athlete's foot, jock itch that are often caused by a group of fungi that can be acquired from locker room equipment. So you want to make sure that you change out of your wet clothes. These germs thrive in moist, warm areas. So changing out of wet clothes, airing them out, washing when you get home, good hygiene practice. Always wear some sort of foot gear in a public pool, public locker room, and you can even apply an over-the-counter antifungal spray to your shoes and feet after your gym workouts too, just to help prevent against fungal infections. And the third germ category is viruses. These are things like plantar warts and those airborne respiratory viruses. So while people should not go to the gym when they're sick, it's hard to stop them. I see lots of people in the gym that clearly probably shouldn't be there. But if you happen to see someone who's coughing, sneezing, or showing symptoms like that, you may want to just avoid that area. At least let them clear out. It's probably not worth any airborne transmission by being in super close proximity to that person. You're going to see sick people. People go to the gym with colds all the time. You also want to wipe down the equipment again. Common theme here, so you don't pick up any viruses from surfaces and ultimately send them into your respiratory tract by touching your face, where it could enter through the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, any of the orifices in the human head. Most of the time, you get the flu not because someone sneezed in your face, but because you touch something or are around people who are constantly coughing or sneezing, and you pick up, whether it's a phone or touch the desk or the doorknob or the gym plate, and then you touch your face without good hand hygiene. So again, wash your hands frequently. Also helps prevent against viruses. Interestingly enough, gyms are not subject to health department inspections. So the onus is on the members to learn about cleaning schedules, practices. And so I thought I'd share at least a few tips and recommendations to help you keep germs at bay while you still get a good workout in at the gym. So I've got a dirty dozen list of tips for just such an occasion, pun intended. Number 1, keep your hands away from your face. So germs clearly can live for hours on gym surfaces, especially if they're wet and warm or there's sweat. And those germs get into your body through your mouth, eyes, nose, and the easiest way to spread them is to touch equipment that has been contaminated and then touch your face. So while it's very habitual for you to touch your face, one of the important ways to protect yourself is probably also one of the simplest. Just use a towel, not your hand, to wipe away any perspiration, to scratch the tip of your nose. Anytime you feel that itch to scratch your face, just grab your towel and use that. Again, it's a little bit of a barrier. Number 2, wipe down the gym equipment, both before and after use. Because germs can be on almost any gym surface, you want to be sure that the equipment that you're using is clean or relatively clean or as clean as it could be before you touch it. Wiping down equipment surfaces with whether it's antibacterial or alcohol-based cloths, most gyms provide stations where you can wet paper towels with an antibacterial foam to wipe down any benches or equipment. And again, doing this both before and after you use that equipment. Since you can't be sure that the person before you was as thoughtful as I'm sure you are, it's probably better to wipe it down yourself before you start and after you're done. Number 3, wash your hands. Probably heard that one before. Wash your hands as often as you can. Ideally, again, 20 to 30 seconds with warm water, soap. Just use, or you can also use a hand sanitizer. It's much more probably convenient if you're on the gym floor and the bathroom's not really handy. Especially if you're doing like a circuit of a bunch of different weight training machines. It's probably, especially now, worth the extra time because soap or alcohol-based hand rubs will kill flu germs. So it's inconvenient to wash your hands more frequently. I'm up to probably 3 times, which isn't great, but I wash my hands about 3 times during my workout, and then obviously again at the end. Tip number 4, cover any open wounds, cuts, gunshot wounds, anything like that. Any open wound, the gunshot wound was just a joke. Any open wound is susceptible by far to greater risk of infection. So any cuts, scrapes, apply an antibiotic ointment, put a Band-Aid around it, put some athletic tape around it. Just provide layers of protection. So you're not only protecting yourself from bacteria, but also protecting others who may use the gym equipment after yourself. Tip number 5, stand away from others if possible, especially if you see that they're sick. I mean, it's tough sometimes when the gym is crowded, but if you go to a heavily concentrated area where people might be coughing or sneezing, you're probably more vulnerable to upper respiratory infections, especially if you're putting your body through a taxing workout too. So you may want to try and look at your schedule of the workout and time it for when the gym is maybe less crowded, or just avoid areas of the gym that are more populated. Tip number 6, bring your own towel. First I had bring your own towel, and I added and changed it to bring your own clean towel. Don't bring a dirty towel to the gym. One way to protect yourself from the germs at the gym is to just use your own towel. You know it's clean, you know it's free from anyone else's germs, and if you shower at the gym, bring your own soap, your own shampoo, your own deodorant. You don't want to borrow someone else's or use a communal trough of any of those types of things for personal hygiene. Tip number 7, wear protective footwear. Again, makes a ton of sense wearing flip-flops pretty much everywhere your feet aren't protected by workout shoes. Germs, fungus, bacteria love environments that are wet and moist because they can live longer under those conditions. You can easily get athlete's foot from germs that are in the shower, sauna, pool, locker room. And for those of you that have a sauna, Again, experts don't recommend sitting naked in the sauna. Wrap yourself in a towel, not just because you should, but because you should, and you create that buffer, that layer of protection against germs. Tip number 8 sounds like a simple one, but bring your own water bottle, bring your own full water bottle. Fill it at home. There's water fountains can be hotbeds for germs. Anytime you have a communal water supply, just bring your own bottle and drink when you exercise, because you're obviously being dehydrated. You want to have the water. Just don't drink water that comes from a communal source right now where it could be harboring germs. And similarly, tip number 9, bring your own yoga mat. It's just so much easier to know that it's clean, you've cleaned it, and while gyms often provide communal mats, if you have to in a pinch, just make sure you really clean them before you sit or stand on them if you're doing yoga, Pilates, any of the other exercises, or even if you're just stretching. Many people know how to wipe off gym equipment, but they tend to forget the exercise mats because I'm just laying on this thing, I'm just stretching. You can easily buy an antibacterial spray specifically for yoga mats to tuck in your gym bag so you can just spray those down and get them clean. Tip number 10, don't forget about your gym bag. While most of the germs in your gym bag are yours, your own, and therefore pretty much harmless, things can latch on every time you place that gym bag on a bench, in a communal locker, on the floor, on a workout bench. And some of those include staph, salmonella, E. coli, which can cause things like eye infections. And these are just some of the things you can get that you should be aware of. Also, experts do recommend to use vinyl or plastic gym bags. They just have a more natural repellent of germs. Germs and bacteria are just less likely to adhere to vinyl or plastic surfaces than like cloth. So keep dirty clothes and sneakers in a separate compartment, put them in a plastic bag. Swab your gym bag inside and out with disinfectant wipes when you're at home before you go to the gym, and just kind of get into that habit. A lot of people, including myself, forget about the gym bag and all the places you put it. Set it down, rest it on the floor, in the locker. You never know. It's always good practice. Tip number 11 is if your gym has a pool, and mine does, you may want to just think twice about whether you really want to use it. According to the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, 62% of pool-related diarrhea outbreaks are the results of chlorine-resistant pathogen called Cryptosporidium, which is spread by contaminated fecal matter. Yep. Ideally, your gym should post data on the pH testing and cleaning of the pool, which is supposed to be done throughout the day because it's getting such a high volume of people in the pool. It's not like a home pool where you're in it for 3 hours on a Saturday and that's it for the week. This has much more activity. If that pH testing and cleaning information isn't available, you can always use a little bit rule of thumb, and because chlorine releases its distinct smell as it reacts with microorganisms, the stronger the chlorine scent, the dirtier the pool. And it kind of goes without saying, if you're going to use the pool, and again, probably wouldn't recommend it, but if you do, always wear goggles and a swim cap and earplugs in the water, because clearly it's a good bet it's not super clean. Finally, tip number 12 is more around the facility and understanding how often the facility is actually cleaned with a surface disinfectant, decontaminant, how often it's vacuumed, mopped. Does it get spot cleanings throughout the day? You also want to make sure there are spray bottles and stations of antibacterial foam or disinfectant throughout the gym. And remember that not all gyms or gym members are careful about keeping surfaces clean and wiping down equipment. So ultimately, it falls upon you. You have to be the one that practices good hygiene to protect yourself and protect your overall health. So in summary, look, practicing good hand hygiene, covering up cuts, any skin breaks, wearing shoes, protecting your feet, wiping down gym equipment before and after use can help obviously keep germs away. But don't use the threat of germs as a reason to skip exercising. Working out has been shown to boost immunity to colds and flu. But before you hit the gym for another sweat session, here is a quick checklist for gym germ safety. Say that 3 times fast. Gym germ safety. I guess it's not that difficult to do. Number 1, cover any cuts or broken skin with a bandage before you go to the gym. Wash your hands before and after you work out, and ideally multiple times during your workout. Wipe down machines before and after use. Bring your own water bottle, your own towel, your own exercise mat. Never share your towels with anybody or ask to share another person's towel. Don't sit on the locker bench naked. Always wear flip-flops in the locker room and shower. Don't shave at the gym or immediately before going there. Whenever possible, shower at home immediately after your workout. Keep dirty clothes and sneakers in a separate gym bag or in a plastic bag to isolate those from the rest of the contents of your gym bag. Wipe down your gym bag with a disinfectant spray. Make sure you wash your gym clothes after each use. And always check your skin weekly too. If you find any painful red spot or bump, it could be an infection. So you might want to have the doctor check that out. Look, there you have it. In this age of COVID-19, it's not a bad reminder to just be conscious of your environment and how you can not only protect yourself, but also protect others, and make sure that you're staying healthy, protecting yourself, and still getting in the workout to improve your overall health. We'll see you next week. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to The Fitterist Show. You can follow us on Instagram at FitteristMindBody and on Twitter at FitteristMind. If you enjoyed this episode, please send it to a friend or subscribe to make sure you don't miss any future episodes of The Fitterist Show. My name is Christopher Allen, and make it a magical day.